Welcome back to Spyro. Oh, hi, Moneybags. Hello, my dear boy.
I love that goddamn animation.
For Spyro, I'd be bankrupt.
It'd be too easy to just insert it, though.
Piece of my mind.
It looks like a potato.
He is a potato.
I'd give him a lot more for that.
Oh, I mean, it's just like, why does he have to profit over this? Because Ripto purposefully goes out of his way to be a dick to Moneybags. So you think he'd just want revenge at this point.
Yeah, but do we care?
No, we don't.
Oh, I love how they've never modeled his legs to move, ever. So he doesn't flail them around when he's falling.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
You son of a...
Oh,
More
no.
tacky banners.
It's like he doesn't even have legs. He just has two boots glued to the bottom of a perfectly round body.
Oh, Paper Mario then.
So yeah, this is the second homeworld.
This is Autumn?
Yeah.
Autumn forest. No, autumn plains. Yeah.
Okay.
First one's summer forest, autumn plains, and then winter tundra.
Okay.
There's no spring though.
No.
We just go straight from winter to summer.
Yeah. Oh well.
How it feels at points in Georgia.
Do you think that they were planning on having one and then dropped it, or
No clue.
No idea really. Yeah, it is kind of weird. The third game has 4 hub worlds. But those are based on time of day. So it's morning, midday, evening, and midnight are the 4 worlds.
Okay.
They have like subtitles too. Like I think I don't remember actually, but I know it's like Midday Gardens, Evening Lake, and Midnight Mountain. I don't remember what the morning one is. So, yeah, I actually, these hub worlds are okay. They're a little spread out. I definitely like them better than the Spyro 1 hub worlds that had like enemies in them. That
Hooray,
always
we can learn to climb ladders.
Can I learn to climb ladders faster? Oh, Spyro, my boy, that's more than a small fee.
Yeah, you need to give him screws, which are worth less than gems inherently, but, no, wait, they're called bolts. Sorry, my bad. So are you going immediately back to the levels you skipped to clear them out?
I think I clear out the
Yeah.
hub world first, and then I go back to Summer Forest.
But yeah, that's what I always do first. Once I get something that lets me go back, I just go and do it.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I'll forget about it otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, in this sort of game, like, that's, something about this, and also the original Banjo-Kazooie does this too. You're generally going from level to level, and you don't have to backtrack too much. Like, you can choose to leave whenever you want, but you can also choose to clear out the levels as soon as you find them, and and once you do that, there's no reason to go back. So in this, and also in those games, the very few instances where they do make you backtrack always kind of bothered me, because it felt like the game wasn't really designed around these abilities that you're getting. Like for example, part of the reason why I like the original Banjo-Tooie over... Well, I like Banjo-Tooie over the original Banjo-Kazooie is because the game is designed around the abilities you get, so you have to backtrack in order to get everything in almost every world, but the game is also designed around finding the quickest way to get around to places, and it feels interconnected and cohesive, where in stuff like these, everything's very separate, so it feels like you should just be able to get everything in one go. But sometimes you can't, but only sometimes, and it makes those sometimes feel very weird to me. I don't know how much sense that makes when
I disagree that the way I understand what you're saying, you imply you don't like the way Spyro did it. I think Spyro does it fine, because the game always makes very clear that you have to go back for certain abilities. Like, I talked to the guy below where the chef was in Sunny Beach, and he said, if only you could climb this ladder, you could get to the top and figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
and then it says you need to be able to climb ladders. And it's even better in Spyro 3, because in Spyro 3 it's not Spyro's abilities that lock you out, it's the secondary characters you play as. So if you go to the Magma Crater, I believe it's called, in World 1, there's a portal that you should be able to go through, but it's boarded up, and there's a sign next to it saying that, like, Sergeant Bird, who's the character you unlock in the second world, has been arrested by the sorceress. So it's always very clear when you
Well,
need to go back.
it's not
and
about it
especially in
being-
Spyro 3, it's only a certain number of levels. It's enough that it feels substantial when you unlock the new character, but it's not so much that it feels like you left a lot of stuff undone.
Well, it's not so much that, like, how clear it is, although it should be clear whenever, like, it's, I don't have the right ability for this. It's more that if you only have to backtrack, like, once or twice, I wonder why they even made it so that you have to backtrack in the first place, I guess is where I'm going.
If it's you mean if it's such a small occurrence?
Yeah, like, Spyro, since they do, Spyro is better about this than the original Banjo-Kazooie. Really bothers me because there's only one instance in the game where you have to backtrack, and it's you need the speedy shoes from Gobi's Desert, I think, to do one race in Freezy Z Peak, and that's the only time in the entire game where you have to backtrack. And it's just like, okay, well then, why not just give me the speed shoes in this level or move this race challenge to a different world? That's what I wondered, and
It feels like a hiccup in comparison.
yeah. Whereas games where the entire point is collecting stuff and going back is a part of the design, like the sequel to it doesn't bother me as much because that's the whole point. It's like it's being a Metroidvania in that sense.
It's a
And
question of consistency.
Yeah, for me at least.
I would argue that Spyro 2 and 3 fall in the latter category where it is part of the design because there are two levels and the hub world for both summer forest and autumn plains where you need to return with the power up from the next hub world. For example, I will have to go back to complete Glimmer because I'm not a speedrun expert and couldn't complete it on my first run, and I will have to complete Sunny Beach, as well as get a few gems and an orb in the hub world. And then after I get the headbutt in Winter Tundra, I need to go to as far as I remember, it's 2 levels in the hub world that have challenges that I need to beat with the headbutt. So it's very deliberate in this game. One thing I like about Spyro 3 over Spyro 2 is that they made backtracking much easier. So if I go, as you will see very soon, when I go back to, say, Sunny Beach, I basically have to run through the entire level again to get to the end of the level where the challenge is. It's pretty fast, obviously, because I'm not, like, collecting anything pretty much at that point, but it's still a little bit annoying. In Spyro 3, after you beat the level the first time, it sort of opens up an alternate way for you to easily get to the end of the level. For example, in the level Fireworks Factory, a cannon opens up at the beginning of the level. So if you get into that cannon, it will shoot Spyro towards the very end of the level where some of the challenges are. So Spyro 3 is designed to be much easier to backtrack when you need to do some of those challenges that are scattered throughout the level, more often towards the end of the level, because, the main level, they want you to focus on the standard sort of platforming. So yeah, I think in Spyro 3 definitely handles the backtracking a little better than Spyro 2, but I think it's fine in this game. Again, it's pretty quick to speed through the levels to return to the challenges.
You'll need all 14 talisman in order to
Yeah.
break the lock and get to
Think about it. Well, I think cohesiveness is very important in a game where you need something in order to clear an objective. Because not being clear on it is the biggest no-nos you can do in a game like this.
Yes.
To a point where it's frustrating. Because one of the only examples I can think of at the time, I'm pretty sure anyone in the comments or anybody here can think of something else, is actually Toy Story 2. You guys ever played Toy Story 2?
Is that the one where you're controlling Buzz
3D
most of the
platformer?
time?
Yeah. That's
I
the
think
way
I
to
played the
play it.
PC version of that a little bit.
It's a solid game. Like, I actually like that game. It's a good game. But I don't think it's clear enough on needing certain things for certain objectives. That's not platforming based. Because I think the second level or third level, the third world in that game is a construction site. And there is a boss battle at the top of the steel girders. You can get to that boss battle at any time. Nothing's stopping you from getting with just like Buzz with normal upgrades. But the moment you get to the boss, it tells you right then and there, I hope you had the disc launcher to beat this boss. Thank you for only telling me that now, after I just arduously climbed up that steel girder to get to that point. Fuck you.
Oh well, John.
I'm gonna watch the
Well,
movie.
John,
that
if
sounds
you
annoying.
love Toy Story 2 on the PC, I can give you one of my Toy Story 2s on Game Boy Color.
I had that game.
It's terrible, isn't it? It's awful. Oh man.
I blame it.
It's. I don't know why I have 2 copies though. Like, I don't know why I have 2.
Why do you have 2 copies?
I don't know because if I would have
It's multiplying.
like if I was given 2 copies as a gift, what I should have done, and I was smart enough to do this as a kid because this is what I did with a cousin of mine and my parents got me Pokemon Gold for one Christmas. So I was definitely smart enough to keep 1 copy and then trade in the other one. So I don't know why I would have opened both copies of Toy Story 2 if I had gotten more than 1. So I don't know why I have 2 copies. Maybe I'll give it away at some point or something, but it's terrible. The controls.
Win this fantastic prize from BrainScratch counts on this giveaway.
Yeah, we can autograph it, I guess. I don't
You'll have
know.
to write really tiny.
This is not our attempt to get rid of our cheap junk.
No. Yeah, I mean, this is worth a whole 74 cents at a yard sale, if that. But, you know, we're just so generous we give these things freely.
The only Toy Story game that I've ever played extensively is Toy Story on the Genesis.
Super Nintendo for me.
Oh, the pre-rendered game.
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
It was a good game.
not
Hard as
bad.
balls at points, though.
Like most Disney games back on the Super Nintendo and Genesis.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Clean up.
Backtracking.
Like, I've been actually in a pretty big PlayStation 1 platformer mood as of late. Yeah, I think I gotta channel that into commentary recordings. Take advantage of that.
Oh, so we
Yes,
can...
please.
Oh, you know what you should do? You should record that Rugrats game for the PlayStation.
No, I'm alright. That's cool.
Although,
No, but seriously, like, I was thinking... Toy Story 2 is one of those games I was thinking.
yeah, I was
We can
about
do
to
that.
say, Toy
Legend of
Story
the
2 would
Gobos.
be nice.
There's something shiny at the top.
And Croc, Legend of the Gobos.
Oh,
I
that
love Croc.
game's
It's-
boring.
It's aged, but it's nice.
It is...
I'd be cool with doing Croc. I played that game.
It is
And
probably
more
one of the...
specifically, Croc is boring when you're just playing through it. It's fun when you're approaching it specifically as a collectathon, but not so much when you're just going to the end of the levels.
Yeah, I
And
found it
unfortunately,
pretty dull.
It
Did you
doesn't.
play the original or did you play 2?
I don't remember. I played a Croc. I don't know which one it was.
What a
The Croc game I have the most experience with is Croc 2 on the Game Boy Color, which is not very good. I don't recommend. It's like top-down Zelda in a lot of ways. It's bizarre. So this is the one you can do by
Climbing the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you're speedrunning, you just
You just get your way up here.
yeah, you use the flight power up outside, quickly fly through this cave and onto that ledge, and then you can use the flight power up on that ledge to light the lamps.
Do speedruns for this tend to go any percent or 100% or
There's both.
there's both?
Yeah, there's both categories. I think any percent is probably more popular because you get to break the game more. For Spyro 3, I know it used to be they had to collect 100 orbs to unlock the portal to the final boss because there's a lot of ways of glitching into levels before you're supposed to in that game, but they couldn't figure out how to glitch into the final boss portal. But I'm pretty sure when I say relatively recently, I mean in the last couple years, because it was in a somewhat old GDQ run that I watched, they figured out a way to get into the final boss portal, so that any percent speed run is much lower now. You don't need to collect 100 orbs.
Like, I mean, watching people glitch into places is fun, but a lot of I do find watching glitchless or 100% runs, personally, a lot more interesting unrepeated, because you get to see, like, the sort of tricks people do to play the game really efficiently, which...
Yes,
like,
and there's a lot of movement tech in this game as well, just as far as how do you make Spyro, move most efficiently. in this game and as well in Ratchet and Clank speedruns I've seen. That sort of movement tech is really fascinating to watch, even if they are skipping portions of the game.
Was this one of the levels we were in before?
Yes.
Okay.
There were some
Yeah, we
gems
can
on
climb
a
ladders.
ledge that I couldn't get, and now I'm gonna go stop
I
this
remember
crazy
this
chef.
guy. Yeah, the chef who wants to make soup out of our baby turtles.
Oh, I remember this part. Oh.
Tonight I dine on turtle soup.
Oh, this part
This
was.
guy's super
Turtle
funny.
My favorite.
Oh yeah, you had to like save all the turtles, was it?
Yep, those turtles that just are inexplicably drawn to throw themselves into the pot.
Lemmings.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, this poor guy just wants to eat. Like,
But he wants to eat cute turtles.
yeah,
And
and you know what you're doing to the turtles to
pigs.
save them? Giving them concussions. All right, that's
They're
not.
alive.
Better than being
Shells, they'll
devoured.
take it. They can take it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, they can. Yeah, that's what they all say, Catherine.
Would you rather have a concussion or be dead?
Save the animals, Ted.
Where those came from? Here, take this orb. Go away.
I love that. Take this orb and go away.
Why is it always
You
French?
do realize that he just implied that as soon as he gave you the orb, he's just going to kill a couple more turtles, right?
Well, that's
Yeah,
why I
while you
talked to
go
him
away.
again, Ted.
If you step a little closer to the pot, I'll start ringing my bell again.
5 stars.
Now
Yeah,
it's
this
5
is
stars.
this is a tough one.
Is the trolley 5 stars, Catherine?
I think it's either 4 or 5. Yeah.
What the hell are you doing with Spyro's neck?
Just
Walk
walking.
like an Egyptian.
Yeah. So my only trick to this is like, yeah, just kind of. You got to get them
As
going
long
the
as
right.
you make contact with them, they go inside that sliding animation. They're not. They can't go in the cauldron like that.
Yeah. So like sometimes I just hit them to get them out of the way, and then I'll get the right, like that one. I just hit to get out of the way, and hopefully it gets into an orientation where I can more easily bounce it into the water.
You also have. It looks like a bit of a grace period when they get next to the cauldron.
Yeah,
Like,
they-
it's not immediate.
They take a second to jump, because we haven't seen it, but they like physically just jump into the pot.
And if one gets in, do you lose?
Yeah, but you
Yes.
get to try again. Like I don't know. He makes soup, but I guess you can try
Does
again.
Spyro get a heart attack if he loses?
Oh god.
Where is he?
These are the important questions in a 3D platformer, and I feel it must be answered.
So I guess what we're saying to this guy is, no soup for you.
No so frio.
Come back 3 years.
He was going to use it to buy potatoes.
What?
I don't know. I would think you'd have the potatoes ready before you started making turtle soup.
Isn't that the equivalent of using a power star to buy groceries?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, what are you're not really doing anything else with them, to be honest.